Alright, so today I was going to go over another personal project of mine for my portfolio that I was going to polish up, but I've been thinking about actually starting over from scratch. I did actually start this project with class-based components, but for some reason I was using functional components on like just random parts of the app, and I have no idea why. Even though this isn't an original project idea, I really like this because of how many features I was able to implement. It's basically a Yelp replica. That's what I was trying to do back then when I first started this app, but like have my own, just build it from the bottom up, my way. I didn't use an API that lists a whole bunch of restaurants and details. I actually spent a lot of time on maps, like Google Maps, and looking up various restaurants around the general vicinity in Southern California, and then I like literally typed in all the information by myself. I don't know why I did that. It was so dumb. There's actually a website which is really good. It's called Makaroo. Yeah, Makaroo. I completely forgot about this, and I've used this before, but for some reason it didn't come across my head at the time when I started this project. I do want to at least refactor the code base. It's just all these little features that I want to keep and continue to work on for my for one of my personal projects for my portfolio. So if we do like American, right? You can click on one. You can read the reviews. You can see any images. Obviously, these are just stock images. If you want to leave a review, then you can sign in, and then let's see. Oops. All right. Okay. And then if you already posted one, then obviously you shouldn't be able to post another one, and then you're able to manage your reviews, and then it goes to your accounts. All of your reviews that you posted, you can edit them. You can add photos, delete photos, like that. Go back to your account. You can upload your image if you want. You can edit your general information if you got security. Do not like the code base of the app itself. I just really don't like it. And I was going to refactor it and just polish it up like I did for my other project, but I mean, this is I just feel like I can write this a lot better if I were to start from ground up. I mean, I already have most of the features, built out, and I just have to refactor them a little bit. The whole app would overall be a lot more consistent and more organized. But also, since I did use Postgres for the database before, and it was a full stack application, I was using was a Pern stack, so Postgres, Express, React, and Node. But I was thinking about using Firebase if I were to rewrite this app from scratch. I have played around with Firebase before, but there is just one thing that is concerning. It's mainly just when you click on a restaurant, there's so much data that is being fetched. I was thinking I would have to have something like this. I mean, I have if this single document was the restaurant, then I would have to have the restaurant information, like the name, and a whole bunch of other details. And the categories, that's one thing. And then the reviews would also be in the restaurant's documents, and then in the reviews, that's going to be an array, and then each review could potentially have another array with the images. What I was thinking about was like, what would the what would the process be to like update one of these objects that's inside like a nested array? I guess it's two nested arrays, right? Potentially two nested arrays. The last time I looked up how to modify something in a nested array in Firebase, I was reading that like that feature is not available yet. I'm not sure if I'm just remembering wrong, but that's just what I remember, and that was a couple years ago. So maybe they might have a way for you to actually update the document or an object that's in multiple nested arrays. I wouldn't have to worry too much on the back end because Firebase handles most of that And also there's authentication that I can utilize from Firebase too. But I do need to make sure that I can query the nested arrays properly before I even attempt to rebuild from scratch. So I'm just gonna make a quick test application and then see what I can do first. Alright, so it seems like so far there's not actually a way yet to directly modify a nested array for a document. But a workaround would be to have a separate collection. So instead of having the reviews inside the restaurant's document, just have it as a separate collection and then have a reference ID of some sort to match it up with the restaurants, and then it will be a little bit more of a shallow setup, so it won't be as nested. Okay, so I think I finally figured this out. I scrapped the whole thing that I mentioned in the beginning because it actually just made no sense at all. What I did instead was just have a reviews collection and have a user ID and a restaurant ID, and I'm able to query all of the reviews based on the restaurant ID or the user ID. It's as simple as that. I think I was making this way more complicated than I thought, because Firestore does have a feature where you can use the let me see, there's different query operators like these right here, and I use that right here. If I want to get the reviews based on the user, then I can just say, where the user ID equals whatever the user ID is. If I want to get the reviews based on the restaurant, then I can do the same thing. I just change the restaurant, or I change this part to restaurant ID and equal to whatever restaurant ID. And I just tested deleting an image for a particular review based on one user. Right now, in the reviews collection, in one of the documents, right, I have 2 images for this particular review, and I'm able to delete. So if I wanted to delete that, then I would just click on it. For example, I just click and I would have something processing, but then in the database it's actually gone, right? There we go. There we go. Yeah, I feel like I overcomplicated this process from the beginning. I was thinking in the wrong direction, I guess. I was trying to have everything set up in the restaurant's object, right? So it would be like for example, on the home page, when you render all the restaurants, each of the restaurants would have all the reviews and all the details about it. But then that doesn't make sense because I don't need the reviews until I click on one of the restaurants itself. And same thing goes for the users trying to edit their past reviews. So then what I could have done this whole time is just do what I did right now, create a separate collection for reviews, and then have query in a specific way where I can just filter through the user ID or the restaurant ID based on if I'm looking at a particular restaurant or if I'm trying to edit a review through a user. So now I just got to figure out if I want to take this approach with Firebase and rebuilding from scratch, or just refactoring with the old code base that I already have. I think I'm gonna get some sleep on it because I've been working on this for a little bit and I just want to rest my brain. But I did learn a lot about Firebase, more specifically the Firestore, how to work around the Firestore database. So I'll probably play around with this a little bit more tomorrow and figure out what I want to do, which path I want to take. Yep, I think that's it for today. Until next time, peace.